Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Eden Podcast. This is our 4th podcast now. Can you believe it? So thanks once again for tuning in, however you listen to this, whether you're on your way to work, whether you're relaxing in the bath and have chosen my soothing tones to relax you in your evening, or maybe you're going to bed, or maybe you're on a run. I don't get those people. But anyway, you're welcome here, and we're so glad to have you today. I've got a very, very special guest, Mr. Nathaniel. What is your name?
Just Nathan.
Just
Nathan, but yeah.
Mr. Nathan Banks. So this, I'm aware that we have had a lot of Bankses on the podcast. In fact, this will be our 4th time in a row that we have had a Bankster.
Who are you missing?
On
Grandad Banks?
Yeah, Grandad Banks next time.
Okay.
But we will have other guests. But today, I'm going to let you into a bit of a behind the scenes. Today, as we are speaking, as we're recording, but not as you're listening to this, it is semi-final day.
It is.
It is England-Croatia semi-final day. And we are absolutely bricking it. Is that fair to say?
Yeah,
or are you
absolutely, mate. Yeah, I'm already nervous.
I'm absolutely terrified, feel physically sick. But hoping that we can get this done by kick-off.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So that we can go and watch it. But as you're listening to this, you probably know, well, you will know, not only if we've won the semi, but if we have won the World Cup.
Yeah.
Nath, what's your prediction? Lay out all the predictions now.
I mean,
including third, fourth playoff.
Yeah. So, growing up watching England, it's never comfortable, and I'm never confident going into an England game. But as far as this World Cup's gone, it's obviously it's been brilliant. I mean, Saturday watching us against Sweden, it was the first time I've ever watched England play and not been nervous. So.
Parts of it were enjoyable.
Yeah, exactly. And I'd never thought I would enjoy an England game, but Saturday I did. So I am nervous for tonight, but I do think we're going to win. I think we're going to win tonight, but I can't see us getting past France.
Okay,
to be honest, I think France will win it
tonight. What's the score for tonight?
I think we'll win 1-0
England,
tonight.
Croatia 1-0.
1-0. Harry Kane penalty. And then we'll lose in the final to France. I think so. I think it'll be tight. I think France will beat us in extra time.
That's a big prediction. I'm backing England all the way, probably 6-0 tonight.
Yeah.
7-1 in the final. That's what I'm going for. Looking into my mirror. But so the reason why we've got Nathan on today is because everyone is football mad. And Nathan, well, why don't you tell us what you do for a job? Football's a big part of your life, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's massive. So I work as a football coach for a football team in Bury St Edmunds called Sporting 87. And as you said, football's a massive part of my life because as a kid, all I did was play football. I'd always go outside and kick a ball around, and it's always been a massive part of my life. So to be able to work in it full time it's a bit cringy to say it's a dream come true, but in a way it is because I get to do football all the time, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
And sort of the chance to coach it and help younger kids through it, and
so you've got that element of helping young people.
Yeah, exactly, which is quite rewarding as well at the same time.
Yeah.
So not only am I doing football, I'm also working with kids, which is good.
Yeah. So how did that come about then? So you're at school, you're just playing football, and then all of a sudden you got a job in it. Talk us through that journey a bit.
When I was about, 14, 15, I realised that I wasn't good enough to make a career out of it playing. So I thought, how else can I be involved in football other than playing? And I thought about things like refereeing, but that didn't really appeal to me. So coaching was the one thing that I thought, I'd like to give that a go. So I've known the guy that runs Sporting, a guy called John Warnock, for years, and I just had a conversation with him really, and sat down and just said, John, I'm interested in getting into football coaching, and I know Sporting as a club is very well run and it looks after their coaches well. So I said, will there be any opportunities for me to come and coach with you guys? So that's how it all started, really.
That's awesome. And I think me and Nath don't know each other that well.
No,
probably known each other like a year-ish sort of thing, but we've never been out together or anything. Maybe we should do that.
Yeah, we should.
We should go get a pint or something. If England win the World Cup, a pint's on me.
Okay.
Sorry, not if. When England have won the World Cup.
Well, exactly.
As you're listening to this,
exactly.
England are world champions.
We would have won the World Cup. We probably would have gone for our beer already.
I can't believe that we won 7-0 as well.
Yeah,
that is incredible.
Harry Maguire hat-trick.
I remember when I first came over, you were just on your way to America.
Yeah.
What was that all about?
Yeah, so every year, coaches from sport in the club I work at send coaches over to America. We've got sort of a partnership with a company out there called On Goal, which they run their own sort of club program throughout the season, and then in the summer they run holiday camps and clubs across all of America, East Coast side of America. So it was just over a year ago. It was last June. I went over there as a coach to go and work with them. And it was brilliant. I'd been to America once before when I was quite little, so it was really good. It was the first time I'd ever been on a plane on my own before, and it was quite a good experience for me. But I just loved it. I just really enjoyed it. Working with American kids was different as well.
Yeah,
they show a lot more respect to adults.
Really,
which was nice.
Well, I wanted to talk to you about that actually, because there must be times, probably less in your work. Let's talk about football as your hobby, because I'm assuming that you play for a side as well.
Yeah, I play.
You play for
Sporting as well.
And,
yeah.
You say Sporting, it sounds like Sporting Lisbon.
Yeah.
Let's call it Sporting. But you play there, and that's probably not the most Christian environments or respectful environments.
Yeah.
Not necessarily your team, but football has a culture of abuse, and I'm just talking about abuse of referees, abuse of other people, that kind of verbal and sometimes physical.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what does that look like for you as a Christian? What does it look like to kind of be a Christian in those hostile environments? What steps do you take to kind of be set apart from the crowd, or don't you? Do you want to mingle in with?
I mean, as I said earlier, Sporting is a Christian club. Maybe 5-6 of the first team squad sort of go to church regularly.
That's cool.
And the coach as well, John, he's a Christian as well. So as a club, we sort of, we're supported as Christians. We quite open with talking to the non-Christian boys about it and stuff, and they're all quite open to hear about it. But as you say, other teams in the league, church and football on a Saturday afternoon are two completely different things, polar opposites. With there's swearing and abuse, and as you said, it's just the culture of football. And as a Christian, it is difficult, but it's trying to find that balance between, how much do you really want to get involved in the stuff that people are swearing at you, saying you're a Christian, you're a Christian club, you're ridiculous, you're a joke, sort of thing, and you have to try and it's difficult. It's difficult to take a step back and not retaliate. And at times I've got frustrated, and it's led to yellow cards and red card last season. So don't get me wrong.
Talk us through your red card. Put it all on the table. I want to hear about this.
So it was sort of toward the end of the season last season, and we'd had a frustrating season. The season before last, we missed out on promotion by a point. So we had a really good season, but this is the season just gone. We weren't as good. We weren't really firing, and it come toward the end of the season. Everyone was a bit frustrated, and we weren't really playing for anything. And we were 4-3 up against Bacton, who are quite. They're a nice club, but we get on with them quite well. But it's always sort of a little bit of a rivalry.
Quite close, yeah.
Yeah, quite close. So we were 4-3 up about 5 minutes to go, and the referee gives them a penalty.
Right.
And I'm thinking, he gave it for handball, but it just blatantly wasn't. It just blatantly hit him on the chest. So I let the referee know that I wasn't happy with the decision he made.
Yeah, like you're showing him a passage of scripture.
Yeah, exactly.
Just saying,
yeah. Obviously, really politely.
Yeah.
I just said, sorry, sir, you've made a mistake. But no, it's fine.
Excuse me if I'm not interrupting you in your crucial job. I think you might have just missed that.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly how it went. But he didn't like that, so he gave me a yellow card.
Yeah.
And then they scored the penalty to make it 4-4, and it was literally, it must have been into stoppage time. They have a corner, and we break from the corner, and it's me and the other forward running we just picked the ball up in our half and we're running towards their half, and they've got one defender back, so it was two of us against one of their defenders. And Rob, the other striker, plays the ball across to me, and their defender just blatantly as ever just sticks his arm out and stops the ball from coming towards me.
Handball.
Yeah, and so obviously everyone goes, handball, ref, handball, and no, ref said no, it was accidental.
So did you point this out to the referee by any chance?
I didn't. To be fair, Ben, I didn't even bother pointing that out to the ref. I just let him know how I thought his performance was as a referee, and he didn't like that quite so much, so sent me off. So,
so you got 2 yellows for dissent.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
that is quite bad.
That is bad. But as I say,
what was the result?
We drew 4-4 in the end.
Oh, mate, that is
frustrating. But it's difficult because for someone that cares about football so much, I get so emotional when I'm playing, and I get so into it. And
but I think from you being a Christian, and some of the other guys being a Christian, I think it's sometimes helpful for people to see that you're just a normal person.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But I would be interested to see so for those of you that were at the Eden Gathering, you'll have seen that I did this little kind of live quizzy sort of thing, is the best way to describe it. And I asked people the question on there, where are you at with your faith? People seem to believe in God, generally, the people that were there. But when it came to telling people about their faith, they scored really lowly.
Yeah.
Scored really low. So how do you do that? How do you share your faith in that community?
Through football, it's sort of going back to when I went to America. That was the first time I had sort of linked football with my faith. And I think that's why it was such a memorable experience for me and why I enjoyed it so much, because it was the first time I sort of done that. And then following that trip, coming home and going back to football, going back to work, it was sort of almost sort of a different thing for me, sort of explaining my faith to people that play football, people that come and watch football. And I'm not sort of, you get a lot of people that will go around and they're really open about it, they're really confident about it. Yeah. They'll go and, tell everyone, come to church. I'm not like that. And I think that's just me. I'm not quite as confident with it.
Yeah.
But through football, I think it's a really good environment to spread that sort of, that part of my life. So.
No, that's really cool. And I think it's important for people to hear that it is hard.
Yeah.
Because we have a perception, I think, with our age group, that it's supposed to be easy to share your faith. But everyone I speak to finds it really hard.
Yeah.
But we are called to do it for sure.
Yeah.
And to make disciples and stuff. So so you've been to the US with your football. You've been sent off with your football.
Yeah.
Where else has your football led you to? I'm sure you mentioned something about Kenya.
Yeah. So about 2 months before I went to America, I went to Africa, to Kenya. Again, the club have got a link with a charity out there called the Doxa Project, and we went and did some stuff with them. They support schools in the slum in a place called Nakuru in Kenya. So we went and visited some of the schools and ran some holiday clubs and things like that. But they've also got a partnership with a football team out there.
Okay.
So we went and did some coaching with them, which was brilliant. It was really, it's such a different game in Africa as well. Playing on, it was just a dust bowl really, and there was no lines, there was no, there was no bibs, no cones. We just had sort of 2 footballs for 30 guys. So it was definitely a challenge to coach there, but it was a brilliant experience. And
I've been told to ask you a story that came out of Kenya.
I knew this was coming.
Go on.
I knew this was coming.
Sure.
So
what's going on?
So while I was in Kenya, we went one of the evenings. We went down to train this group of men with their team, and I think there were a player short on the day. So I said, I'll join in training. The guy I went with, a guy called Ray, was a bit nervous about it because he was tasked with looking after me, make sure I didn't break any bones or anything like that, and. Getting healthcare and stuff in Kenya isn't easy.
Tricky.
So anyway, so I joined in, and they came up to me at the end and said, "Hey Nathan, we've got a cup semi-final on Sunday at the weekend. Do you want to play for us?" And I was obviously like, yeah.
What sort of level are you talking about?
It was good. It was a high level. I think they said it was all proper and professional, proper referees. You had to properly sign on and things like that.
Oh, wow.
And you got sort of a sign-on card, and you were registered with the Kenyan FA. So it wasn't just it wasn't pub football. It was a high standard of football.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I was like, yeah, of course, I really want to play. So they said, right, okay, we'll try and sort the sign-on process. So I signed on just in time for the game, and I played the game, and we won in the last minute free kick, which was great. But anyway, so I played. When I got back to the UK, sort of came back to the office on the Monday morning, and I was really excited to sort of tell everyone at work about my trip to Kenya. And John, my manager and my boss, came out and was absolutely fuming. He was like, "What have you done?" He was completely, he had steam coming out of his ears. And I was like, "What have I done, John? I've been gone for 2 weeks. I thought I'd get a nice welcome." But he said, apparently, if you sign on for a team outside of the UK, you can't then play for your team, your current team in the UK, until you get something called international clearance. So this point, I said the season before last, we were challenging for promotion.
Yeah.
So as I left for Kenya, we were top of the league. I think we were 2 or 3 points clear at the top of the league. And when I came back, I found that I couldn't play for the rest of the season. Oh my
goodness.
So I missed the last...
You absolute mug.
I know, I missed sort of the last 6 to 8 games. I missed because of this international clearance rule. And obviously we ended up not getting promoted. So
who polices it? Like,
I know.
Seriously.
The FA are tight on that sort of thing.
Really?
So yeah, they are. So unfortunately, I missed the end of the season. And
so how do you... What, you just couldn't play till the end of the season? Or are you technically still signed for a club in Kenya?
This clearance takes a while to come through.
Yeah.
So we were in the process of trying to sort it out, and we were hoping that we'd get it sorted before the end of the season, so I'd be able to play the last couple of games. But it's just a long process. It takes a while.
You absolutely muffin.
So
you had no idea?
I know. No, I didn't. Not a clue. So the timing was just completely wrong. But yeah, so that's still sort of a running joke amongst the boys in the team. They always say that I'm still playing Kenya and stuff like that. So,
and you're going to South Africa in the summer?
Yes. So me and my girlfriend Lauren, we're off to South Africa to see a couple called Dan and Jen, who used to come to the church. Okay. And they work with a charity called Hands at Work out there.
Oh yeah, I've heard.
So yeah, we're going to spend some time with Dan and Jen and just see what that's all about.
So is that football related, or is it just
not particularly? No, it's just sort of. Lauren, she went to Zambia with the Forge trip last August, and she loved it, and obviously I loved Kenya, so we were really eager to go back. And when sort of Dan said, come and visit us, we were really keen to take the opportunity and go. So not necessarily football related, but it will still be a brilliant experience.
You'll get some football in there.
I'm sure, yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah, with his 3 boys, I'm sure we'll play some football.
Yeah.
Yeah, talking about how England won the World Cup.
Yeah, you could just go around and boast.
Yeah.
South Africa weren't even in this one.
No, they're rubbish.
Idiotic. So then what are your plans and ambitions kind of for the next year going forward? Like, obviously there's a new football season coming up.
Yeah.
There's obviously that whole other element of your job, which is kind of like getting to help young people and get them engaged with the sport. And what are some like personal targets for you? How do you see like the next year playing out?
So my role at work is sort of changing up. So I'm starting some new projects at work. So we've got we're starting this project called the Fathers Project around Bury, which is sort of working with disadvantaged dads, with maybe they're single or they're unemployed or things like that. So my job will be to go into schools and connect those dads with the school and build that sort of relationship with their kids through football. So it'll be things like going in the mornings at drop-off time and doing a football session with the dads and the lads, being sort of a positive role model for the kids and encouraging the dads to be the same. So that's something I'm really, really looking forward to.
You get to share your faith in that sphere of work.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've done it a few times, and I've been with dads, and they've sort of said, why are you doing this sort of thing?
Interesting.
Why do you care? I mean, you've never met my son, you've never met me before. Why do you care if I'm connected with the school? Because you don't work for the school. So that's quite an interesting conversation. Saying how important I think that sort of thing is. So, that's really exciting for me. And my aim is to sort of develop that program on and hopefully build on that. And yeah, keep working with that.
Awesome. And you're kind of obviously around for Eden.
Yeah.
It was as we're speaking, it was the gathering last week.
It was, yeah.
What's your favourite bit?
Seeing your face, Ben, up the front.
Seeing
that was my
my
favourite
face
bit.
up
That was
front.
my favourite. No, I think my
that's fine. Okay.
that was my favourite bit, Ben. I think the worst bit was seeing my mum try and floss.
Oh, yeah.
That was shocking.
Was that worse than seeing your dad try and floss?
Yeah, much worse. Yeah. I just think mum just sort of looked like she was thrusting in the air. So
Yeah,
it was bad.
Yeah, you never ever want to see.
No.
But if you do want to see Nathan's mum thrusting, who knows? Maybe you should come to the next Eden gathering. We're taking a break for August because everyone's on holiday and it's really hard. So the next Eden gathering is on the 6th of September. It's at the Mix again, 7 p.m. And I imagine it's going to look very much the same, probably even better than last time.
Cool.
And Nath, you're going to be there.
Yeah, I'll be there.
So if you got any questions, speak to Nath about football, or maybe you're just absolutely sick of football, and this will be the last time we mention it, and we'll talk about tennis or swimming or bowls. Next time. But this will be the last time we mention football. Just make sure that you check out our website, because that's the easiest way to see what's going on with Eden. We've got some social action projects there that you can sign up for. Obviously the food nights, and then you can find all of our Instagram, Twitter handles, YouTube. There's going to be loads of content popping up on YouTube in the near future. So make sure that you obviously subscribe to this podcast, leave like a star rating or a little comment just to help us know that you're there and that you're enjoying it. Or if you're not enjoying it, let us know. Let us know how we can be better. We'd really love to hear from you either way. Nath, thanks so much for being here.
Ben.
You've looked amazing, sounded amazing.
Thank you very much.
How can people get hold of you? What are your handles?
My handles?
Yeah.
I'm on Twitter, Instagram. I think I'm Banksy Nathan, so easy to find.
Banksy Nathan.
Banksy.
What about Snapchat? Are you on Snapchat?
I have got Snapchat.
But you don't want to give that out.
But I very rarely use it.
Cool. Well, I've been at Benjamin Lasky. You can follow me on all of those shindigs. Thanks, Alex, for producing the podcast. And we'll see you next time on the Eden Podcast. Play the music.